VO Radio. It's here for you.
Welcome back to VO Radio. I made sure my mute buttons were off or on. I don't know how you say it. My name is Mike Praviti. Thanks for listening, everybody. I am joined by the lovely Deb Monroe, the lovely Stacey Barrow, and the lovely Anthony Reese.
You look fabulous today.
So if you'd like to contact us, you can do so, and we hope that you do, via the number on the player window, or you can enter a question in the chat. We would love to hear from you. Our sponsor tonight is Voice Over Extra. So, okay, we're going to get into another topic here, and I am going to ask the lovely Stacey Barrow for her topic. Yay, Stacey Barrow.
You know, I always have so many things that I want to say. I have a question, really, with this topic for you guys. There seems to be such a stigma with being new, and you don't really want to say you're new. When is it okay to say you're new, or how not new do you need to be that you can say? Like, is it, if you're just starting out and you're in your first year, you probably don't want to say that. Do you say, is it okay? Like, does 3 years sound good? What is it all about?
Well, who are you saying it to, I guess, would be my question. You know, who are you looking? Because to me, just my personal opinion. Yeah, I mean, if a client is asking you, I just tell, then you're honest. But I don't think that really happens. I mean, I've never had it happen to me. I don't know if it's happened to you, Deb, or you, Anthony, but I just think that, because, yeah, there can be a stigma if you send something over. You could have the best demo, say, in the world. And if you send it over to an agent, at a year into it or 6 months into it, and even if the demo is great, yeah, there might be that kind of preconceived notion like, oh, well, there's really not a lot of experience there, even though the demo sounds great. I don't know what you guys think, but so I don't think that you have to say it, Stace. I think that you just kind of, unless somebody asks you, and again, I don't think that happens too often.
I think it's super important here to, first of all, exactly what Mike said first. It really depends on who you're talking about. For me as a coach, of course, I want to know if you're new. That helps me understand where to take you, but I'll know you're new the second you open your mouth when you're good. So that's okay. Now, secondary, I always encourage talent to never advertise that you're new, because I get this, I'll ask them to write a bio for me, and they'll always say, oh, I've been training with, okay, I'm going to give you the best analogy. I'm about to plumb your house, your toilet clogged, and now we have to do the entire new fitting. Oh, I'm new though. I'm new. Would you like me to do your fitting? Can I do your fitting for you? I'm brand new. And I'm going to plumb your entire house.
That's well said. That's well put.
So that's the best example for everybody to get it right away. You don't need to advertise that you're new. You don't have to advertise that you're overexperienced, but I believe in effective branding where you can make it look like you've done this a little while, as long as you can pull off what the demo suggests, which goes back to the number one golden rule for all of us coaches that are any good. You cannot, should not ever do the demo before you're ready, because now you've shown how darn new you really are. And that is, don't get me wrong, guys, us veterans, I believe I'm an online veteran. That's what I believe I'm a veteran of. Okay, I've been in a long time. And I had to start, and believe me, when I promote, I'm new to the industry, I'm excited, I'm eager, and it was okay then. It really was.
No more.
Not anymore. I would not suggest it at all. But again, there's certain people that might need to know that you're new. Now, here's where it could come into play with a client. The example Mike gave, for example, with the demo, you're not matching it. They're trying to get something out of you. That's where it's a disappointment for them not knowing you're new. But I do feel it can be a kiss of death to promote that you're new. So I would myself MacGyver your bio so you're not lying, but you're making it so that it's just massaging it in the right way so it's heard, so it can't be misinterpreted wrong either, and you're protected for that outcome to happen.
That's really well said. And Stacey, thank you for listening to your coaches. I'd like to speak with him or her someday.
I wonder who that is.
I'm a big, I think me and Deb from the School of Hard Knocks 101, because this is something that you listeners out there, if you're a new talent or you've been around the business a while, a couple of years, or even a veteran, an old dog, this is something you want to carry forward. There is wisdom in this. I can tell you throughout my 75,000 year career, I can't tell you how many times I've had people say, well, my boss just doesn't want to put the $75,000 campaign on the back of somebody brand new. So the reality is they aren't willing necessarily to let you have their client be the guinea pig for your starting your career. So also, there's something to be said about if you brand yourself or you create your package, your image, or whatever you want to call it, if you create your image in such a way that you look like a pro. My old man used to say to me all the time, and those of you who know me know what I'm talking about, don't let him see us sweat, son. In other words, I'd be out there on the mound as a young guy pitching, and I was a good pitcher. I was, pretty damn good, and went all the way to AA or whatever have you ball. And the reality was, when I was getting shelled and they were knocking the hide off the ball, my old man would be standing in the bleachers giving me the old sweat sign, like rubbing his hand across his forehead. Don't let him see us sweat. In other words, fake it till you make it. So if you create your branding in such a way that you are great quality training, great quality demos, good quality website, good branding across the board, all the way to your headshot or your logo, your sound and everything sounds like a pro, they're going to assume you're a veteran. If you advertise on your website, hey, I'm new, I work for food, find me on Fiverr, you're in trouble. And so the reality is, like Deb was saying, for sure, there's so much wisdom in the words. I'm kind of reiterating this. Even if you are a professional or I hate to use that word, that's one of the words we should never say. I think that's only on LinkedIn, whatever. But if you're an expert, a veteran, you've been around the block, you paid your dues, you've got a good brand, you've got a good package, and you've got terrible quality demos, you haven't trained, you think a webinar and VO Atlanta is all you need to do. People that are in the business that are pros, not people that are in the business that are one-offs, working out of their dorm in the Cayman Islands smoking ganja. People that are everyday lifer producers, especially millennials today. You can't sell a sand to a person in the villages in South Florida. They know what sand is. So in other words, what I'm saying on those weird tangents is you got to present yourself like you're a pro. Even if you're a veteran and you've been around the block, you're never too young, if you will, to have your package updated, cleaned up, brought to the 21st century so your image comes across in such a way. Therefore, to wrap my little tangent, in my opinion, in the reality is you can't let them see a sweat. You got to make sure that your image is such that isn't going to cross their mind. They're never going to go, are you new? Because your packaging and everything presents you in good light. You look like a veteran. You look like you've been around forever. So what I tell my students and when I train my newbies and even old dogs that I reinvent out of the LA market, whatever, that come to me saying, I'm not making any money. What do I got to do? Well, let's trash your image, come up with a pseudonym. Let's reinvent you and put you back on the market under an alias logo and re-enter the market. And I have hands down success with people. And if I said some of them, people would go, what? But it's mind blowing what you can do by reinventing someone. That is the best thing you can do.
And I'd just like to add it. Sorry, I just think that there's some great tips that you guys can take that will help you. So another example to consider is agents are always full. A good agent is always full. However, they're always looking for that next fresh talent. So remember the word fresh. Remember the word eager. Those are two very creative branding words you can be using that are basically expressing you're new, but not necessarily stating you're new. So think of that as well, because when I have younger talent come to me, well, even if they're new, I have agents that might take them on. I have a great example of someone who has a mixture of an Asian accent with a British accent, Malaysian accent, British accent, and American. And it's sultry at the same time. It just blows. And just because of what she's able to perform with her skill sets, she's able to get places where I can't get veterans in. And so there is a home for new people to break in. But don't be careful on how you're promoting that. It's just what I wanted to add. And so remember those branding words, just eager.
Great point. In other words, don't walk around with a sign saying, I'm new, I'm desperate, please take my rate and prostitute my value.
It's transparent.
We can have a whole discussion on the whole Fiverr thing, but the whole dollar holler Lodo world. But the reality is that's what you don't want to see. You don't want them to see that you're overly hungry, but yet key buzzwords, let them know subliminally, like you're saying, Deb, gold in that word. I'm eager. I'm willing to work with you. I'm always looking for new clients. Whatever kind of little keywords your AI tool can find for you to create the idea and plant the seed that, look, I'm good at what I do. My demos speak for themselves, but I'm willing to work with you, and I'll probably give you a better rate than most without saying it. So you're absolutely right. That's great.
And remember,
and I think it's really important for everybody to hear that they should not fabricate something they can't pull off. So we've all said that. I just want to make sure everybody's really hearing that too. Sorry, Mike, go ahead.
No, I all I was going to say is that, there's a lot to be said for not knowing a ton either, because a lot of times magic is found in those reads of people that don't have that experience, So it's kind of, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like a balance, but it doesn't mean that you shouldn't go and get the coaching. It doesn't mean any of that, but there's something about that. I don't know if it's naivete, but it's just that innocence, Deb, like you said. It's just that newness that kind of creates this magic in your auditions sometimes, in your reads.
And unfortunately, coaches train it out of them too.
They do, and and that's
hard to say.
And again, that's another topic for maybe another time. But just how much coaching is too much coaching?
Wow.
I think we might even talked about
that's
that.
a
right?
great.
Yeah. Innocence is bliss, though. It can go a long way.
Absolutely right.